Hi guys, hello, how are you all doing? Well, by the way, you can ask that question. That's like saying, how was your good night of sleep? Right. It's just a fucking platitude really, isn't it, guys? Everybody engages in it. Oh, how are you doing? I don't really care. Well, obviously I do care, but you know. Anyway, I wanted to start this video off by reading something to you all. So I'm going to do that first. It says, this is my little millstone, do you like it? Soul work is not a high road. It is a deep, deep fall into an unforgiving darkness that won't let you go until you find the song that sings you home. Now, I came across this a couple of weeks back and it resonated with me very, very much. And subsequently, I found myself tumbling headfirst into this very unforgiving darkness. Obviously, I have traversed that terrain throughout my life. I am familiar with the territory, but this time around, due to all the external circumstances, triggers, call it whatever you like, it is deeper. I've gone deeper into the unforgiving darkness than I have ever done before. And I think that you guys, you soul travelers out there, I think you're there with me, one way or another, in your own way. It's never, ever felt like this. It's the same thing, it's the same vibration, if you like, the same consciousness, if you like, that it has always been. But where it was completely hidden from view before, it has become gradually revealed to us in all its aspects. So bit by bit, that is what awakening is. Bit by bit, it is a revelation that happens gradually, you see. And because it's so smoke and mirrors, because it is so nebulous, because we have been totally mind controlled, which is gaslighting, that is what mind control basically is. Because we are so traumatized and we are so familiar with evil and with darkness and its machinations, whilst all along also being told that it is normal, it is natural, it's meant to be this way, etc. We get lost in the hinterlands of ourselves. And awakening is an initiation that is started by our true self, is what I feel. The last 5.5 years of my life have been unspeakably difficult for me. I'm not going to go into the details of it because it's surplus to requirements, But it is the truth. And yet, whilst going through that, often feeling like I was way, way, way beyond endurance, in fact, I've somehow survived, and I've done more than that. I've expanded my perception, my awareness, my consciousness, if you will. I have gained insights as to the nature of reality, stupid fucking word, as to the nature of me, who or what I may be. what this realm is, what this experience is. And I gradually moved away from the identification with victimhood and powerlessness. And so many people on the external truthers, call them what you will, whatever, not just that, but just people that are interested in, you know, the conspiracies, interested in what's really going on as opposed to, you know, whatever. But a lot of these people never move past that barrier. They remain trapped in this, oh, well, the Archons are keeping us trapped here and we're never going to get out. Or they come out with these, oh, nobody's going to come and save you, you'll have to rescue yourself, or things won't change until humanity gets together and defeats evil. It's all similarly pointless, impotent notions that won't get us anywhere. And it's like being like a broken record, and the nefarious, stupid catch-22 that people stay on. Because to get through that barrier, you have to be really, really tough with yourself. You must not allow yourself to stay there. You see? You have to keep pushing through. You push through your own, these are internal boundaries, you see. Beautiful. If you continue to believe yourself to be a powerless, defenseless, worthless slave, and talk about that ad nauseam, like so many people do, it's on and on and on. I no longer visit any of these channels. I can't be bothered with it. David Icke is one of those, you know, and he is definitely, I think, not helping. There's so many of these channels now, and anyway, I don't really want to go in that direction. It's an energy that really is pervading the realm now in a big way, and we are, as it were, under attack. It is an onslaught of false victory of the dark side type energy that I feel, because it's like there are channels. There's one called Hugo Talks that I occasionally frequent, but it's 99%, it's just bad news. Oh, this is happening and they're doing this, and over there they're doing that, and it's never good, it's always bad. They're going to do this, like, oh, they were going to enforce mask wearing in supermarkets in Britain. You have to, no matter what, you would have to. Well, that never happens. I don't wear a mask, and that's it, and I never will. Well, you know. But now the new one is these COVID passports, or freedom passports, you know. Now, last year, I think, in Denmark, there was a massive protest, a massive rising of the people. Now, I know what I think about protests. It's like asking the forces of darkness, please don't be mean to us, and it's bullshit. But that is one angle of it. But actually, I'm not entirely against it either. At least the people rise up and show that, no, we don't want this. So, you know, I think it's a double-edged sword, basically. And, you know, they did this, and the powers that be, the false, demonic fucking bastards, basically relented. But now it seems they've, you know, it's basically... everything that is being done now, everything that is being done in the small ways and in the big ways, the micro and the macro, whatever, is being done to reinforce trauma-based mundane reality in a really big way. And I can honestly say I've never ever felt this heavy. I have felt this way before, this precise emotional, energetic state, but it's heavier, more oppressive and danker now than ever before. And I'm finding it really hard even to just sit here and do this video. It's incredibly difficult because I can't get my words out right, and there are things I want to say but I don't know how to say them, and whatnot. They want us to believe that we are all going to be living in a world that is just like China. And of course, you know, most of us don't actually know what it's like living in China, but I met a guy who lived in China years ago. He was a student over here, and he taught me a few things about it. It's far worse than anyone can possibly begin to imagine. They are, well, it's a Luciferian thing, you know. It's very bad what they do to children, to animals. It's pure evil. And people can literally be habituated to just about anything, you know. They can be habituated to murdering and eating their own children. High-licks, NPCs, you know. The unconscious masses can be habituated to anything. It doesn't matter how insane it gets, how evil it gets. And it's as if we are on a threshold here, because we have two choices. It's almost as if, I'm going to put it this way, we can either go with Saturn or we can go with Jupiter here. The feeling is of Saturn, or Pluto I suppose. Evil's won, we've won, and there's nothing you can do. And this comes out as well in, in the small way. Look, evil is simply playing its game here. It's oh God. Narcissism, narcissistic abuse. We encounter this on all the levels. And it has a massive impact on us, because it's always been the name of the game, guys, you know. And it's far deeper, wider, and more insane than we can really begin to imagine, I think. And here's the question. Either you believe that evil is the puppeteer and you're just a puppet on strings, or you believe in your inherent power and your inherent freedom. And that is a really difficult one right now, guys, because the onslaught of darkness feels so incredibly heavy. It's as if all light has been, well, dimmed. I mean, I'm getting weird shit like, well, I've always had this anyway throughout my life, but it's worse now. It's really picked up a pace whereby I was gonna go for a bike ride, and it was like, oh, don't go out. A truck will come and mow you down and kill you. Or, and I know several friends of mine have reported on this as well. Weird, malevolent, intrusive thoughts that appear every time you want to do something that is strong, life-affirming, positive. Oh, don't do that. Something bad will happen. That's one element of it. Another element is this heavy, well, I call it the black hand, this oppression, this heavy oppression. You will feel it in your heart center, and you will feel it in your throat. And so often enough your crown chakra as well. I wake up in the middle of the night and I have it going on. It's a heavy feeling of dread and fear, and it palpates. It's clearly energetic. And at the same moment as I've got that going on, there's like a nuance in my head saying, oh, you shouldn't be feeling that way, that's very negative. which is New Age Law of Attraction programming. Because you see, far from it being that, oh, well, you just choose to feel positive and all of a sudden you do, it isn't like that at all. We live in an energetic, well, electromagnetic world, and we're talking about mind control. Mind control is done using electromagnetic devices. I keep wanting to do a video about it, and I promise you all that I will do that, but there are a few important elements that I need to understand, because I do understand about electromagnetic implants, mind control technology, as it were. I do, but in order to do a video about it that is good and that gives you some, you know, some palatable and good information that you can use to help yourself, I'm not quite ready for that just yet. Anyway, it is all about. It's not about technology that we know and see and are familiar with. That isn't it. It's something else altogether. It's way, way, way beyond what we understand. There is a reason why our perception, our consciousness has been squeezed into a tiny, tiny box called mundane reality, people, because this is not a mundane reality. But we experience it as a mundane reality. Right? Disease, old age. Oh, you have to work for a living. You have to fight over resources whilst living in a world that is literally falling to pieces. Paint is peeling off all the buildings. Roof tiles are falling down and are not being replaced. Trees are being cut everywhere. Landfills filled with plastic and rubbish and dirty nappies everywhere. Cars everywhere spouting out their filth. Tarmac roads everywhere, litter everywhere, dead animals everywhere, disease everywhere. You know, people who are mentally retarded, people who are born with horrendous defects, whatnot, everywhere. Stupidity and ignorance celebrated every day. We know this place is seriously wrong, but you know, it's much, much worse now than it was, say, in the 70s or the 50s. Much worse. God, it's really difficult doing this video today, man. Massive, like, interference. Something doesn't want me doing it. Something doesn't want me to talk and to get my point across. And, you know, this is very, very common. Because it literally is like wading through sludge. Because whilst, you know, a soul traveller, a soul's being, and a soul traveller is someone who has done this thing many times before, has that experience under his or her belt. This is our exit life, our exit strategy. We're not going to want to come back here and do this anymore. There are people here, soul beings, that as yet are going to want to have this type of experience. I sense this deeply. And there are also beings that aren't sold at all, and they're neither here nor there. It's the airport lounge thing again, different boarding gates, you know. The soul travelers are heading to boarding gate 0. The point of my video, and let me really, really try and make an effort to get to the point now. Right. Do you remember how I said in a video quite some time ago, and I've mentioned it several times, but it's, you cannot enter heaven with a consciousness of hell. And I thought to myself yesterday, you know, it works the other way around as well. You cannot enter hell with a consciousness of heaven, you know. In order for us to come into this realm and live all these different lives, experiences, nuances, examinations of what this is all about, and to ingest the inherent meaning of it, because I feel deeply and strongly that I came here with very, very good reasons. I came here voluntarily. And in order for me to enter this realm, I had to surrender my heaven consciousness, for it could not have digested this place. Because you see, what is happening for us soul travelers is that our heaven consciousness is reasserting itself. That is what awakening is, basically. You see, the hell consciousness clears out, layer after layer after layer after layer, and the heaven consciousness comes back in, like this, right? The more that happens, the more we find ourselves struggling in a massive way with this reality, because we see it and know that this is evil, this is not right. But if you think about how you felt maybe 20 years ago, when you're my age, or 30 years ago, you didn't see it that way, you didn't feel it that way, did you? For us to go home, for us to enter through the gate, the portal, past the threshold, the eye of the needle, back home, we have to relinquish our hell consciousness. And that is the crux of it. That is what we are dealing with here. That is why it is so difficult, and that is why it hurts so much. Because we have to see, feel, and know all that this is. We have to sift through it all our lives, all our experiences, all of it. We don't necessarily remember everything in detail, but we are deep, deep, deep in this process of distilling our experience that we have had here. Something had to happen to our consciousness, right? The yin and yang, the out of alignment, the click out of alignment, which we had to, because we could not have been here, we could not have existed here, we could not have had this experience any other way. You cannot enter hell with the consciousness of heaven. It would not have been palatable, it would have been impossible. So in order for us to come in here, we had to say, okay, we will sacrifice, we will allow for this out of alignment click to happen. Inherit the hell contagion. It is the only way that we can exist here. If you look at people that you know are soul but are not really very awake, they might be a little bit with it but not very much, and you see how they operate, it tells you a lot. It tells you that, yes, this person is definitely soul, but they're not really awake, and what they find acceptable and what they engage in, I couldn't possibly find acceptable or engage in. Your hell contagion is there saying, oh, they're disgusting and they're soulless and I hate them, and that's all your hell contagion, you know, because the hell contagion is it's filled with rancor, with hatred, with hate, it's all trauma, fear, all that programming, all that mind control, all that gaslighting. That is what the hell contagion is. And our heaven consciousness is witnessing that, working, soul retrieving, healing that, but it's also, it is an ongoing process, a very deep, profound inner experience, process. I don't have the words for it. Just as we entered hell with the consciousness of having a tiny bit left to get us to because without that the life force would be completely gone. But we had to inherit that hell contagion. Now it goes the other way around. To get back home, we need to heal that hell contagion. So you're thinking, well, what's that got to do with how the world is, with what is happening on the external plane? And part of the external plane is your body, for example, is part of the external plane. All the aches and all the pains. Charles from VC33 talked about throat issues, like feeling a closing of the throat, or like being, like being suffocated. I've had that as well. Yes. Well, I'm not 100% certain, but that which lives in this realm that we chose to enter to have a certain type of experience that we are distilling, that was and is and always will be meaningful, profoundly so. And once it has been profoundly distilled, it is like you cannot change the world, but your world will change forever, as in your consciousness will be enriched in infinite ways because of the experiences that we have had here. We came here for a reason, I know that, I can feel that, truly, completely holy. However, that spectre thing that I talked about, that being that is semi-alive, semi-not alive, wants to keep us here. It's as if leaving behind, or rather neutralizing, alchemizing the hell contagion in order to go back home, because you cannot enter heaven with the consciousness of hell. Certain things have to happen on the external plane. You see, everything is consciousness. There is an element to the true self that perhaps instigates certain events, happenings, certain energetic nuances, electromagnetic vibrations, in order to cause a reaction in our consciousness that feels incredibly uncomfortable, unbearable, horrendous. It shows itself up as these horrible, dystopian, demonic things that are happening in this world. And the Hylics, NPCs, whatever you want to call them, all these unawakened soul people, all these nuances, all these things that's happening, is and that and who and now, and all the lies and all the subterfuge of the mainstream media, such that it is, and all the people reacting, often very catch-22. There's always the passive-aggressive element as well, which again we need to be very aware of. That is part of the hell contagion. It's that horrendous I'm a powerless victim and you're doing this to me type of bullshit that we need to address, because it makes us sabotage very, very much. It's cutting your nose to spite your face. There is so many elements that are being triggered by what type of experience, by how this experience we find ourselves in has become, or is becoming, or is seemingly becoming, because nothing is what it appears to be here, guys. I know that much. Nothing. On the external, I get so many matrix glitches now that show me that, okay, this is not a set in stone thing. What's true today will not be true tomorrow. You know, that sort of thing. It's just not. Nothing is what it appears to be. Something is going on anyway, even if you want to look at it in a more mundane sense. You know, you look at America, you look at what goes for a president there, and you know something is going on, because if evil was that powerful, they would have had some other charismatic psychopath like Obama that people would have wanted to vote for, that people would have voted for. They could have done anything. They could have made people vote in their droves for this charismatic psychopath. Instead they have Joe Biden. None of that makes any sense. There are weird things going on in Britain with regards to the fucking royal family that are not the royal family. They're actors, or they're fucking clones or something, because I know them. Oh, well, that's not Prince Charles, that's not the Queen, that's not Harry. I don't spend an awful lot of time on it because I simply register it. I know, I see, and I think something is on, you know. So, in the middle of this insane chaos, we soul travelers have our work cut out for us. We have to continue to walk the straight and narrow. We have to continue to question our emotions. When something happens in terms of any kind of narcissistic abuse, doesn't matter how it shows up and it doesn't matter where it shows up, but you'll know it because it makes you feel like shit. It will bring up, it triggers you. It's a key, it's a key, it's a key. It triggers you. So, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? What am I really feeling? Because often enough it'll say, well, I feel angry, or I feel pissed off. And it's like, no, it's deeper than that. Go into it, follow it. Go into it, people. Go into it, follow it. What am I really, really, really feeling, and why am I feeling it, and how can I love myself here, receive myself here, because it's soul retrieval work. These narcs are there in a way, if you choose it, to serve you. I know a lot of people will get really pissed off and will be triggered by that because they're doing it to me, and well, that may be the case, but I'm a big believer in what I call the what do I call it again? Well, anyway, it doesn't matter, but I use these things as much as I can. I mean, yes, I get very upset. I get these comments that leave me feeling pretty fucking shitty, actually, you know. But I go within myself and I work through it, and it always becomes a healing covenant for me, one way or another. It also shows me, it teaches me a shitload. What I will not do is allow it to make me sabotage myself. See, we have two choices. We either play the game, and it's very difficult to disentangle from that. I know this because I have trouble with it every day. Because on the external right now, it's all narcissistic abuse, psychopathic frequency, right? It's abuse, it's manipulation, it's gaslighting, full stop. It will show up on the micro, in comments underneath your video, undermining you. It will show up in relatives, people in your family that will do that are narcs, because they're everywhere. NPCs are all narcs, one way or another, they are. And there's so many of them. For example, like the vulnerable narcissist. It takes forever to unmask those. Because at first they're like, oh yeah, I'm such a nice person, and I'm such a good person, and I'm so sensitive, and I'm an empath. They always come out with being an empath and this, that and the other, but you'll soon work out that they have no empathy for you. Not at all. You're not well. You know, and you don't hear from them. You know, they don't care. They don't care about you at all. They only care about themselves. They're completely self-invested and completely self-absorbed. And it's all like, I'm a victim, that is who I am, and I want you to give me all your time and all your resources. I want your compassion, I want your energy, I want to feed. You know, you get your overt narcissists, you know, it's a very, very, like I said, a very big thing. It is an external manifestation of the hell contagion, basically, because ultimately narcissism is rabid self-hate. You would think that, you think, well, no, these people love themselves. That isn't love. It's actually hate, self-hate. or just a complete absence in terms of, say, a psychopath. There is absolutely no emotion there, really. Not at all. It's just something, like something dead. Despite feeling the way I do, and believe me guys, it's been so heavy, so heavy. I'm so depressed. I feel so heavy and worried and frightened and lost, confused, discombobulated. There are things going on in my life. I don't know. Despite all of that, I am still here thinking, you know what? I'm gonna continue to put my faith in that this is meaningful, in the power of the light, which I call the Great Mother, myself, my true self, and this rosy golden energy type thing that I know, that I sense, that it comes from home, my true self. It's difficult to put into words, but it is pure, unconditional love. That tells me that despite what everything looks like, that despite these weird currents of psychopathic, underhanded nastiness, despite all our physical malaise, our material malaise, our emotional sorrow and pain and fear and agony, we will be guided, we are being protected and guided to this conclusion, this 0 point, this omega point, I feel. Finishing touches, tying up loose ends. It's very, very hard, because the hell contagion part of you, the shadow self, is there saying, I don't trust this, and I don't trust the light, there is no light, evil's won, it's obvious, we're fucked. And like I said, it's full of hatred, it's full of rancor, it's full of conflict, it wants to kill the NPCs, and it is in that state of, I hate you, and I hate this, and you know, and all of that. And oh boy, if you allow yourself to really go into it, it makes you feel even so much worse. So it is the hell contagion. It comes from a place of profound woundedness, insane with the pain and whatnot, all that programming. You've been taught your entire life how fucking worthless and powerless you are, and all these NPCs blithely going along with it. Now it's like I've had my vaccination letter, I've had a text calling me to get vaccinated, the whole vaccination passport thing in Israel and now in Denmark. I mean, yeah, it scares the shit out of me. There's no denying it. I'm not going to deny what I'm feeling. I have a friend that I care for that is, or I thought was sort of with it. I know full well he's sold because I can feel him. You know, but he's only gone and got himself vaccinated. That was like a kick in the gut. See, all these things trigger us now in a massive way. And everything feels very dark and very heavy. It's like Charles said from VC33, like all the light, all the joy, any kind of sustenance has been slurped out of the world. And we are left thinking, how can I carry on now? I feel you, you know. I feel you all. And I know and I understand. It's... I don't even really know if I've gotten my point across. It's almost as if the point that I began this video with has become obfuscated, as sort of lost in you know, the energetic wasteland again. And because I get these moments of profound clarity, and it's boom, and oh, where's it gone, you know. But yes, you cannot enter heaven with the consciousness of hell. And yet, for us to come here and have this experience, we had to surrender part of our heaven consciousness in favor of the hell consciousness in order to do that. And in order to go back home, we have to reverse that process. And that is what is happening here. And to that end, everything that happens on the external, even in the physical body, which is part of the external, is to that end. It is the ultimate of keys. Because I've been lying in bed and it is literally as if that spectre thing, like this black film, was being peeled, stripped away from me. You know when someone's put a plaster on, like a band-aid, these old type ones, you know, the material ones, and somebody rips it off, it's like, ouch, motherfucker. It's like that, it felt like that. But electromagnetically, energetically, it felt like it was an energetic thing, like something dark and horrific was being peeled away, stripped away from me, in my throat, in my here, in my heart. And it was like, oh, the fear, and it was like, oh, this is a physical thing, I can feel this physically, and I know that we're dealing with energetic implant type things that is being stripped from us. And when that is being stripped, the pus and the shit that lies behind that comes out. It comes pouring out. So severe depression and fear and these weird intrusive thoughts. All your hair's going to fall out. You're going to wake up tomorrow and find yourself all bald. Something really bad's going to happen to you. Oh, you better not go out on your bike. You're going to be mowed down by a truck. One of the cats is going to get run over by horrible, nasty shit. Because that is the nature of the beast. That is what is being stripped away from us now. The only example that keeps coming to me again is Harry Potter, the Deathly Hallows Part 2, where Ron opens up the Horcrux, which is the locket, right, with the sword of Gryffindor. And that fatted black spectre that comes out and starts lying and gaslighting him, saying, oh, you're so worthless, and see, you know, Hermione really wants Harry Potter, she doesn't want you, your mother didn't love you, she wanted a daughter, not a son, you're worthless, nobody wants you. You know, that is what it is, and that is what it does, that is the nature of the beast, and it is being stripped away. But it is exposed, it is revealed. So when we have had this message over and over again that said all shall be revealed, it is so, it is happening. And when the darkness is revealed in all its ways, inner, outer, above, below, left, right, whatever, however, it is unspeakably horrific and painful. And so that is where we are at now. That is the only way I can think to put it, guys. You know, and how do we keep going? Well, just tiny bit by tiny bit. Because our true self, the Sentinel, is here with us. And if we make this choice, we can make this choice every day or even moment by moment, to trust in the power of the good, that we are somehow protected, that the problems that besiege us, whether they are physical or material or however, whatever, nasty, narky people in our life leaving vicious comments, undermining us, whatever it is, we are guided, we are protected. We can choose to tune into that and make choices that support ourselves rather than that sabotage us. And when we do make choices that sabotage us, we all do it, we can correct that, you know, we can choose a different path. And so we go from Saturn, I'm a powerless victim, I hate you all now, hell contagion, to Jupiter. A little bit of defiance, a little bit of I really can't do anything and I just want to stay at home and do absolutely nothing, but I am going to go into nature for a walk because I know it will help me. Just as a little example, whatever. Choose to do those things that nurture you, right? Ask yourself this, is this the right thing for me to do? If all these narcs attack you for it, it most likely is a good thing for you to do, so carry on doing it. You know, in fact, do more of it. Love yourselves, people. Love yourselves and do that which nurtures you, which supports you. Be open to receive. If people want to help you and love you and give to you, then let them. And have that sense of gratitude and connectivity with these people, with these beings, these other soul travelers. Do not let the narcissists destroy these beautiful connections, people. Instead, go within and ask yourself, what am I feeling? What is this incident, this comment, or this nasty letter from the NHS asking you to come and get your vaccination? How is that making you feel? Yeah. How are these intrusive thoughts, how are they making you feel? Yeah. How's this horrible passports, COVID passport, and this happening in Israel, and that's happening in Denmark? How's that making you feel? Because now, more than ever before, do we need to be on our own side. We need to choose ourselves and stand by ourselves, and to be as much as we can receptive to that love, that infinite unconditional love. It will protect us, it will guide us, it will be there for us. I know the dark side is there saying, well, you shouldn't even be here, it's all evil. Yeah. And in a sense, the reason that is so successful at having a go at us and us believing it, our shadow self, like, oh, that's true, is because, yeah, it is an abomination. It is evil. We know that. And yet, on the other side of the coin, life after life after life, we've been forging gold. We've been alchemizing in the 3D, if you want to call it that. We came here for a reason. We had to inherit the hell contagion. We couldn't exist there solely with heaven consciousness. That does not work. And now we are clearing out that hell contagion so that we can go home, or rather manifest home all around us. And all that darkness and all that evil, all that sickness, all that narcissism will be no more, because we will be home again. And we will see such beauty and such splendor and such goodness, such an incredible abundance of infinite unconditional love, of infinite incredibleness, people. So whatever it is we're doing here, that is beyond our ability to put into words, this is the sacred work. It is a bridge. A long time ago I got that. This is, we're building a bridge of love between two worlds. And we are crossing that bridge from the hell contagion and its corresponding ways of thinking and behaving and feeling. Healing back into temperance, the heaven consciousness, where we know intrinsically that we are powerful and that all shall be well. Trust, faith, power. I think that's all for today. All my love to you.